Hi, this page really just helps you to look at what are the tapping points, because they're quite distinctive, and once you get used to them they're really easy to follow because they start from the hand and work their way around the whole of the face. You might find that you have one or two that you prefer. That's okay, you can stay on those a little bit longer. You might have ones that really irritate you. That's okay, you can avoid them once you get going. It's about personal choice, although I always teach you the basics in this way, and then you can variate them when you feel more comfortable with what you're doing. Okay, so the basic starting point for all EFT is the side of the hand, on what's called the karate chop point. They then move through in this system, so they go to the top of the head. It's kind of like the middle of your crown, okay? It's the middle of the head. And then I tend to use the centre of the forehead, and then the corner of the eye, so where the eyebrow meets the nose. Corner of the eye, again it's just where the socket dips on the bone. Okay. It's quite a nice one if you've got a headache, quite gentle, slow. Okay. Underneath the eye, again in the dip of the socket, but don't poke yourself in the eye. Be careful if you've got nails doing this one. If you've got long nails then you may have to tend to do it on the side, so you don't stick your finger in your eye. Underneath the nose, in the cleft of the chin, and then the one that most people have a little bit of difficulty finding is actually the collarbone point. So if you run from the top of the collarbone down to the bottom, and then there's a little bump and there's a dent, it's about there. The easiest way to get this is literally just to tap in the whole of the area. I tend to teach clients to tap on their opposite side, so the opposite hand side, and this is more about being able to get that crossover in the body so that both your left and right brain functions are working together. Okay. The next place is actually on the fingers, and we start. The point is where the finger meets the nail. So it's thumb, first finger, about 7 times each, second finger, ring finger, little finger, and back to the side of the hand. When we're working purely in matrix, what will often happen in matrix is we'll just use the finger points and one other point, which is the wrist. You might often see the travel bands, the acupressure points, travel bands that kind of make a dent in here. That's the same pressure point that we're working on. The reason for that is that the hands are much more easier to access when you have your eyes closed, particularly if you're working face to face with the person and you're imagining your echo. Then tapping on the face can sometimes be a bit of a shock, so it's useful to stay with the hands. But when I'm doing Skype work, I'll often tell people top of the head, middle eye, corner of the eye, under the eye, etc., so you can follow around. And they're the basic tapping points. So anybody who comes to start working with me and wants to use Matrix EFT, you don't have to, you can use other therapies that I offer, but if you want to use Matrix EFT, that's where I'd be starting, and hopefully you'll have watched this video and you'll know where all the points are.